Hi everyone, today we are going to continue reviewing for the short paper portion of your Writing SOL by talking about conclusion paragraphs and what you should include in yours. A conclusion paragraph restates your original thesis but in different words, meaning that you don't want to just copy and paste your thesis statement from your introduction paragraph. You want to have the same ideas and the same support of your topic, but it needs to have different words. It needs to look different. A conclusion also reiterates or reminds the readers about the claims that you've made in your body paragraph. So essentially you want to remind your reader about your main ideas that you have written about in your body paragraphs. Provides a final judgment, which is where you give your audience a reason to care about the content of your essay, why it's important. And then finally, it's a send-off. You want to leave your reader with something to do or something to think about. These last two parts, your final judgment and your send-off, should be the weightiest parts of your conclusion. We're going to look at a few examples, some that have all the parts and some that are missing. So here's our first example. The prompt is, many professional athletes and entertainers earn large sums of money. Do you agree with these individuals making high salaries? Use specific details and examples to convince others to support your position. These are the reasons why I do not agree that professional athletes and entertainers should earn large sums of money. I feel that the money that they earn could be greatly used now because of our economic crisis. Also, Americans do not learn important data from professional athletes and entertainers. Lastly, the money that professional athletes and entertainers earn could be used to help Americans be prevented from many diseases. All in all, I do not agree that professional athletes and entertainers should not earn large sums of money. So looking at our list, does this conclusion restate the thesis? Yes, they seem to restate what their position is, that the athletes should not earn large sums of money. They do not reiterate their claims in one sentence. They take a sentence per main idea. They do not provide a final judgment, and they do not leave the reader with a lasting send-off. So this paragraph would still need a few things to be added to it in order for it to be effective. Example 2. What does it take for a person to be successful in blank profession today? Anyone could get a job as a technology manager if they dedicate themselves to learn all there is to know about this industry and if they meet the requirements. Two things they will need is a bachelor's degree and training for more experience. Without these things, the education of a person pursuing this becomes obsolete. Imagine the lifestyle a person could lead if they were one of the few people who understands the changing technology in this industry. So again, looking at the parts, does this conclusion restate the thesis? Yes, they seem to state their position about what a successful technology manager needs in today's world. They do not reiterate the claims in one sentence. They do not provide a final judgment, but they do leave the reader with a lasting impression that sends the reader off, where they talk about why it's important for technology managers to be in the workforce today. Here is our third example. What improvement would make your community better? Use specific details and examples to convince the mayor of your community to accept your idea for improving where you live. In conclusion, our community would be amazing if safety was improved. There would be a noticeable decrease in crime, litter would be gone, and people wouldn't live with the threats and dangers of wild animals. The lives of many people that live in Coopertown would be enhanced. There would be no fear or worry by walking out of your home or driving on the road. Mayor, I hope you understand Coopertown's need for safety and take these suggestions into effect. Does this conclusion restate the thesis? Yes, they do so in the first sentence. Do they reiterate the claims in one sentence? Yes, where they talk about the litter and ways to improve the town. Do they provide a final judgment? Yes. And do they leave the reader with a lasting impression? Yes. They implore the mayor to think about how to improve the community. So this paragraph would be an example of an effective conclusion because it does all of our 4 parts. Looking at the other note sheet that you have with you, it's called the Checklist for Writers. And it looks like this. You will be provided this checklist On the day of your SOL, it is embedded in the TestNav software, and we will show you where that is located when we go over that portion of our review. This is essentially to help you make sure that you have included all of the parts that are required to write an effective composition. So you'll see at the top line, I planned my paper before writing it. Then it gets into the section focused on composition and written expression. Do you have an introduction that captures the reader's attention? A central idea with specific details. The content of your paper relates to the central idea. Your writing is organized. Your sentences are varied. Your word choice develops your purpose and tone, and the conclusion brings your ideas together. Then the next section gets into your usage and mechanics. Do you have correct grammar? Sentences are constructed and punctuated correctly. Words are spelled correctly and capitalized when appropriate, and your paragraphs are clearly indicated. And then finally, you checked your paper one final time to make sure that your message and what you're trying to say is clear. So you should use this as you're planning your composition that you're going to revise on Tuesday or whatever your next class day is. And you should also be using this on the SOL to ensure you have all the components. On the back of the sheet with your checklist, you see an anchor paper from the Department of Education. We've split it up into 3 slides. So you can read that over and then flip back to your checklist to see that they have included all of their parts. So once you've done that, you can go ahead and brainstorm using your tree web, your ideas for when you revise your composition, and continue to review for your SOL.